everyone, and welcome back to the light side
of the paranormal.
I'm Alice.
And I'm Jenna. And today we are going to be talking to you guys about skinwalkers. So, what is a skinwalker? If you just tuned in, you're like, what is this? Well, I will start off by telling you that I don't have a lot of information on them. I will tell you why. And it's because the Navajos don't like to discuss this topic with outsiders because of what they believe could be the supernatural repercussions.
Oh.
They don't like to talk about it very much at all, and they don't believe in talking about it with people who are considered outsiders.
Wow.
They just say it belongs within their own culture and that's it, kind of thing. There is a term that the Navajo have which translates to he who walks on all fours. So that's, skinwalker is kind of like our term for it. I'm not going to try and say it. It's a Navajo word that I will most definitely mess up.
We'll insert it here.
Yeah. So a skinwalker is, I don't know if you'd call it folklore or a legend, I guess, in the Navajo culture. It is believed to be a type of witch. Which in their culture, a witch is a much more evil term than our culture. Well, I mean, in our culture, witches are seen as bad, but they are misunderstood.
Yes, that's a really good way to put it.
Okay, so witches in our culture are also often seen as evil, but they're misunderstood. In the Navajo culture, a witch is not a demon, but in my opinion, it would kind of, from what I read, it seems kind of similar. The way in our culture you'd say demon and you immediately evil, there's no questioning it. In the Navajo culture, that's what a witch is. And also in our culture, witches can be seen as healers and stuff. In the Navajo culture, a healer is never called a witch. It's like you wouldn't call a healer a demon. Right? Okay? So, with that as a base, so they can take the form of any animal or any person, but if they're going to take your identity or your look, they have to stare at you and you have to make eye contact and you engage in this stare down, which ends with them they can then take full control of your body.
The eyes are the windows to the soul.
Or the non-soul. The animals that are most often manipulated by the skinwalkers are wolves, foxes, coyotes, crows, and owls. There's not much information on what happens to you if they actually get you. And probably because nobody really lived to tell the tale. It's kind of what it seems like. Touching back on the fact that skinwalkers are never considered healers, there are healers as well. So they kind of explained it as you start out on your kind of mythical path and you can go one way, the light side, or you can go the other way, which is like the darker, negative witch side on their part, and you get absorbed by the darkness of it all, and then that's kind of the path to becoming a skinwalker, I guess. They're also known, there was very little information on this as well, but they're also known to convert others into skinwalkers as well. And it didn't really say much on how that happens. But a lot of the encounters that people have with these skinwalkers, they see them, they end up having a bit of a stare down, I guess, but they break free and the creature ends up running off. Or there's a couple instances where they've been shot and stuff like that. There's a lot more instances of people getting away. Probably, like I said, because the ones that don't get away, you don't hear from them. Also, like I said earlier, the skinwalkers can take your identity. So there have been situations where I've read a couple of stories where people have said that they've been inside with family and then have heard their name being called from outside by a family member who's in the room with them.
That's a tall glass of nope right there.
So it's like they often try to lure you outside. So you hear your name being called in a familiar voice, but it's them. And they can also, like I said earlier, take over or possess whoever that they can gain control over. Yeah. So you might think you're seeing somebody you know, and it's really a skinwalker.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's actually a place in Utah called the Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, what?
Because so many skinwalkers have been spotted in that one area. So it says that if you want to become a skinwalker, you must do the most evil of all deeds, and that is kill a very close family member.
What?
Probably in form of sacrifice.
Who wants to become a skinwalker though?
I don't know. Evil people.
Yeah, they just want the power to shapeshift, I guess.
So there's been a few people that say that you can tell that you're looking at a skinwalker because when you look into the eyes, which if you get a chance to with surviving, it just seems like there's nothing inside.
They're just empty.
And someone else had said that they were just these deep yellow eyes that seemed like nothing was inside, which is very creepy. Skinwalkers were once humans that took an evil path and became these witches, and then took the skinwalker path from there.
So the original skinwalkers were by choice, and then they were just turning people from there?
I guess there's not a lot of information on that, but I'll talk more now about the Skinwalker Ranch in Utah, which is really interesting. So I'm going to read this article. I will add the link in the description for this website, which was super informative when it comes to Skinwalker Ranch. So I'm just going to read it. Skinwalker Ranch, also known as Sherman Ranch or UFO Ranch, is a large property near the small town of Ballard, Utah, and is almost 500 acres in size. It borders the Ute Indian Reserve. If I'm mispronouncing this tribe, it looks like it's the Ute tribe to me. This is how it's spelled. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing it properly. But I will continue. The Utes will not enter the area known as Skinwalker Ranch because they believe it is fertile territory for skinwalkers. The Utes take this very seriously. They think the skinwalkers are powerful spirits that are here because of a curse that was put on them generations ago by the Navajos. And at the center of this whole legend is this ranch. The Utes say that the ranch is the path of the skinwalker. Tribe members are strictly forbidden from setting foot on the property, and it's been this way for a very long time. Beginning in the 1950s, the area around Skinwalker Ranch has been a hotbed for UFO activity, according to locals. In 1994, Skinwalker Ranch became well known when Terry and Gwen Sherman and their children purchased this property only to be driven out of their home after 2 years of increasingly terrifying paranormal activities.
Wow.
When the family moved in, they found deadbolts on the doors and windows that puzzled them. Some of the doors and windows had deadbolts on both the inside and the outside. They also found large chains outside that looked like they may have been in purpose for restraining a heavy animal. While they lived on the ranch, the family experienced multiple cattle mutilations, crop circles, hearing voices calling from nowhere, inanimate objects moving before their eyes, UFOs, and seeing strange birds and other animals on the property.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot, eh?
I can't believe my ears.
In one instance, the family saw a wolf attacking one of their cattle. They shot the wolf multiple times with a handgun, and the wolf did not react to the gunshots at all and appeared unharmed while it continued to attack the cattle. Eventually, after being shot 6 times, the wolf ran off and eventually vanished. Wow. In another instance, the family saw their field lit up as if by football stadium lights. It seems UFO.
Yeah.
They saw a UFO larger than 2 football fields and apparent alien figures over 7 feet tall.
That's crazy.
In 2 years, the family lost 20% of their herd of cattle due to mutilation. In 1996, the family vacated their home. Later in 96, billionaire Robert Bigelow, he owns the Budget Suites, he bought the ranch for $200,000 and made it the home of a paranormal research group. the National Institute for the Discovery of Science, which operated until 2004. The organization later replaced by the Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies. In 2007, a secret unclassified government program, the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program, began investigating UFOs. The program had a $22 million budget, and Robert Bigelow received much of that money. Bigelow's findings were that the UFOs seen in the area were non-consistent with current military aircrafts. And in 2013, the film Skinwalker Ranch was made, loosely based on the accounts of the activities at Utah's actual Skinwalker Ranch.
We should watch that.
Yeah, we should. In 2016, Skinwalker Ranch was sold for $4.5 million to Adamantium Holdings, a shell corporation of unknown origin.
That's weird.
Afterwards, a public road that had gone through the property was closed, and the road is now guarded.
Oh, so you can't even go there.
Conspiracy! Very interesting. Oh, sums up with that property.
Wow.
But
that's so interesting.
Yeah,
so we can't even go there if we wanted to.
Yeah, no, it's like an Area 51 kind of.
That's crazy.
So that's all the information that I have. You can YouTube or Google photos or videos of skinwalkers. I'm not going to put any on here because some of them are so controversial of whether they're real or if we should even be talking about this and all this stuff. I'm not going to do it.
We're always trying to be as respectful as we can, especially when involving different cultures and things.
But they're creepy. Mm-hmm. They're very creepy. Okay, so now we are going to do what happened to you this week. Did anything happen to you this week?
Things have happened.
Maybe not this week, over the last little bit, we should say, that we haven't mentioned yet.
I might get you to tell yours first, and then I can tell mine. Hopefully I'll remember it by then.
Okay. So recently, like a week and a half-ish ago, I moved into this new house, which on the first night that we got this house, nobody was here. I came alone, well, with my dog, and because it's out in the bush. And I did a spiritual cleansing on the home. Did I tell you this yet?
Yeah, you told me about the cleansing, but you didn't tell me anything.
Okay, so I've cleansed my old house before, and when I was cleansing it, there was a lot of like negative mental energy that I cleansed out of that home, and as I was cleansing it, made some very loud cracking bangs that it had never made before. This time, this house, nothing whatsoever. But as I was walking into one room, this hasn't happened to me in a really long time. I had such a rush on my right side of energy, like somebody had just run up next to me and was standing right next to me. I had to take a breath because I haven't been startled like that in a while. And it was definitely someone just checking in. I feel like it wasn't someone in my family. I got a very strong sense that it was somebody connected to the family that was here before. Just checking in, probably making sure I wasn't doing some crazy voodoo shit on this house, that it was like legit, I was doing something good for this house.
Yeah.
But I've had a couple of dreams and stuff now. It makes me wonder if it was the brother of the older man who lived here. Because of that dream I told you about, which I don't know, maybe he never had a brother. It felt like a man, for sure. Most of the men on the right side, women on the left. We can go over that another time.
Yes.
But, yeah, I just took a deep breath and I was like, we're just cleansing here, and it slowly faded away, but it just rushed up on me like really quickly, and I had to, take a deep breath and not get anxious, and because that hasn't happened to me in a long time, where they rush up really fast.
It would be startling. Well, even with a real live person that's like, in this dimension, like, hey, you'd be like, hello?
Yeah,
like,
that's what it was like.
Oh my gosh.
2 videos ago I mentioned that my husband was at a funeral and my Nest system went off on its own, which was kind of interesting, and that I had a related story to that. So this is the related story to that. I had a dream a few weeks ago that, and I've never had a dream like this in my life, that I was walking down the street and I encountered death. It was a being, which I instantly knew it was death. I won't go too much into the dream of what happened, but I woke up knowing that somebody was going to pass. I called a few family members and said, just be safe today because I feel like something's going to happen. And that night, my husband's aunt was admitted to the hospital and she died 3 days later. So not like something fun to talk about, but that happened, which was like big for me. That's probably one of the most prophetic dreams that I've had in my life.
That's like really, really intense.
Yeah.
So I should start by saying that I'm no longer like vomiting at 3 a.m. anymore.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, so that's good. That's good. I feel good about that. Still not sure what that's all about, and no one has clarified it for me. So if you do know, and if you've been following us and have heard this story before, please just comment down below or shoot us an email. I really would love to know what was going on there. About a year ago, one of my good friends, her husband passed away at the young age of, I believe it was 27. It was a freak accident, unfortunately, with fishing, and we're all still very, very hurt by it. It's a sensitive topic for everybody. So she is getting ready to move out of the house that they lived in together, and she's moving cities, starting fresh. And recently she was having a going away party with her work. They went out to a local bar. And this is a girl that doesn't really go out to the bar too much. So I was going out for a different reason with some friends, and we were at the bar hanging out on the patio, and I swear to goodness, the man that had passed away last year walked past me. And I rubbed my eyes and I looked, and he turned.
Holy shit!
Oh my god. Jesus. Why does this keep happening?
Oh, my heart!
We're gonna be okay. So I was seeing him from the side, and then I rubbed my eyes, and he just turned his head and smiled.
And it was still him.
And it was definitely his face. And he walked into the bar.
And you saw him outside?
Yeah, sorry. So we were on the patio outside.
Sorry, you did
and
say
then
that.
We walked,
I wasn't listening.
He walked into the bar, and there's like a window from the patio that you can see into the bar, and so I knew that if he was going in, he'd have to walk past that window, and I looked, and I was waiting, and like I'm sure everyone else was like, what the heck? But I was just like staring, and he walked past the window. It was totally him. Not even 5 minutes later, his wife walks out of the bar. She never goes out, and she was like, oh my gosh, hey Alice, oh, it's so nice to see you. I'm here at my going away party, you know, but like a bunch of people bailed, and like I kind of feel like I'm alone. And I was just like, you're not alone.
Oh my god.
Like,
you didn't tell her.
I didn't tell her that night, like what I meant by that.
Right.
But I did invite her over a couple weeks later, and I prepared her that it would be a sensitive conversation. And she was happy to know that he was with her, but she was sad that she can't see him.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those things.
That's always, it's for a reason. I think it would really fuck us up mentally if we saw the people that we absolutely love and miss and are totally devastated about. If we saw them in ghost form, they come to people to relay the message that they're not alone.
I think that's it. It would be way too messed up.
Yeah, it would mess you right up.
Yeah, like I've never seen my grandparents, but like I know that they're with me, you know what I mean?
But other people might see them and tell you that they see them around. Yeah.
Yeah. So she just says that she feels him all the time. So yeah, so that was so crazy and awesome, and I was like, I got a little bit teary-eyed about it because it was just so beautiful to see that he was there for her going away party to see her off.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
I'm glad you told her.
Me too. I wasn't going to. My husband said not to, but I just felt like I needed to tell her that.
He thinks you're crazy.
I know. He's like, don't tell her that. She's not gonna want to hang out with us anymore.
So remember that if you like our videos and our content, or if you like paranormal content in general, don't forget to like and subscribe and click your notification bell so that you get notified every time that we upload new videos. And don't forget
to live your life with love and light. We'll see you guys next week. Bye!